Experiment 27 covers amines and amides, but since Chapter 16 only addresses amines, we're only going to look at the amine part of this experiment, which is part A and B. So in the chemical concept section of this lab, which you always want to read, you just need to focus on parts A and B. And then for the pre-lab questions, I'm just going to expect you to answer what you should know from the course content. So you should be able to answer question 1. Since we've looked at the amide as a functional group, you should be able to answer question 1 in the pre-lab questions. And then I expect you to answer 3A and 3B of the pre-lab questions. Okay, now let's take a look at the experimental procedure. You will be doing experimental procedure A and B. So for A, it tells you that you need aniline, N-methyl-aniline triethylamine, and a variety of lab equipment. The first thing you're asked to do is to draw the structural formula of aniline, N-methyl-aniline, and triethylamine. So you should totally be able to do that. And then identify each as primary, secondary, or tertiary. Now, part 3 asks you to add drops of each amine into a test tube and carefully smell it. You're not going to be able to do that. But for 4 and 5, it asks you to add each amine to a small amount of water to check its solubility in water and then check its pH. So for part 4 and 5 of A, you will be viewing 2 separate videos, one on aniline and one on triethylamine, that do this very thing. And based on watching the video, you'll be able to fill in the table for those 2 chemicals. Now, there is not a video for N-methyl-aniline, so you'll have to write your prediction about what its solubility would be in water and what its pH would be. So here is the report sheet for part A, and here where it says odor, you can just cross that out. Solubility in water for aniline and triethylamine, as well as the pH you'll get from the video, and then for N-methyl-aniline you will write your prediction. And I just want to point out, with regard to the solubility in water, that N-methyl-aniline is going to be less polar than aniline because it has an additional non-polar methyl group on that nitrogen, that amine nitrogen, whereas aniline has 2 hydrogens on that amine nitrogen. Alright, and then I expect you to answer questions 1, 2, and 3. Now for table B, I don't have any videos for that experimental procedure, but what I expect you to do is predict the answers here based on what you've learned from Chapter 16. And these concepts for Part B are found in Section 16.5 and 16.6 of the textbook. So I expect you to have your predictions here, and then for 3, write out the equations for the neutralization of each amine with hydrochloric acid, and then answer question Q4 and Q5. And then once you answer everything, you can upload the lab report. Now your questions can be, your answers can be written in pencil. I just have to be able to read it.